show. You remember the last episode, Zaid Isa was here. He was talking about his life's motivations, what he thinks has brought him to this point of launching a brand new album around the world. I'm proud of you, I must say, to know that somebody coming from South Africa is deciding to go beyond the shores. But I want to say goeiemorgen. Are you going to respond to me in Afrikaans?
Goeiemorgen.
No, he's got right. Okay, I had to get that. How much Afrikaans do you speak, by the way?
Well, you got probably 50% of my vocab.
That was 50%.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, I'm not going to get into it much because I know that my audience is going to laugh because I don't speak
I'm
Afrikaans
from
myself.
KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah, we've noticed. Yes. So Zaid, we know that we spoke about all your motivations in the last episode. This episode, I really want to focus on that career. I think it's exciting times for you. I see you've changed your jacket. You've gone into artist mode. That's the same jacket that we're seeing on the poster. We're seeing it on the CD cover and all of that. But before I go into all of that, I want to know the inspiration behind that jacket, because as I'm sitting here, I'm being mesmerized by those paisley patterns.
I just wanted simply something very colorful.
Very colorful.
I love beautiful colors and rich colors, and okay, even though it maybe not rich, I knew the video that I was doing and the covers, I was going to get the colors to be really rich in the post-production, so I chose something
that's going to stand out.
To do that.
I will remember that jacket. So going forward, we're looking at you are off to the UK. We have a number of components there that we're going to discuss. I would like to touch on the three components separately. The one being the UK PR tour, and the next one being the concert in South Africa that you're doing with your friends and artist colleagues. And then thirdly, the youth development aspect and organization that you're attaching to all of that to help promote and uplift our youth that want to go in this direction. So we're going to look at that as a third component. Let's talk about the album as it sits right now. Beautiful music video, which we're going to show you guys right after this episode.
So, as I explained, the album was done last year, and I worked with probably one of the best people to work with in the world in terms of the nasheed industry, and I thank Allah for that because it was pure grace. I don't think it was. It was. I don't think it was much of my
planning and structure.
Planning, yeah. It was really something that an opportunity that came, and I just jumped at it. And we worked on 8 tracks, and we completed 8 tracks. And over the last year, we've been planning the launch, and we started in London, in the UK. So I think the best thing to do is to go to the UK and show everyone what we've had, what we've worked on, and what we have. And that starts next week, inshallah. And the video is ready, the album is ready.
So you leave on the 7th of Feb.
Hopefully, inshallah, if all
to
goes
London.
well. If all goes well.
But we're looking at the CD that was just launched.
Okay.
So let's talk about that.
That CD has 8 tracks. It covers a variety of themes. I know from the previous...
What I feel like I'm on the Oprah show. You guys left a copy under the seats. Which only happens under the
You get a free copy and
Yes,
and only you.
Exactly. So I want to show you guys that before we start, and our camera guys can take you a bit closer. He's wearing the same jacket, by the way. That makes the jacket famous. But what I noticed about this was that I love the idea that when I look at this from the onset, and I've got another surprise. You got a piece of the jacket if you buy the CD. So here's the thing. When I look at this, this does not look like a CD that was run on a burner somewhere in somebody's yard. This is a professional job. And that comes across in your work right now. Is that what you're aiming to do?
Yeah, I think we should have high standards, and we should aim for the best. And sometimes it's not achievable because of different things, but always work towards that. And this is also, it's a culmination of a lot of failures, and I hope the product is up to scratch now. And as we discussed in the previous interviews, like there's always the stepping stones.
But you always build one on top of the other one.
So I feel now I'm at that point where I've made those mistakes.
Can we have this discussion 2 years down the line, and you tell me what was I thinking 2 years ago? Because
you're
going to keep doing that.
I think this is the best that
for now.
For now, yeah, we'll
Yes.
always improve, and the industry
Yes.
always changes, and we got to adapt, and we've got to raise our game. So I think I'm really happy with this product, and I'm really happy with the reviews. So because I did a sort of soft launch just to get opinions and see, which direction I need to go into, and
I listened to the audio
Okay.
and I looked at the video, and it's really well recorded in my view. And I'm not saying this because you're on the show and we're looking at doing some work with you, but I think that it really is of an international standard at this point. That's my opinion. And
That was the plan,
Yeah.
because I went to the UK and we worked in studios with producers who are working with international artists, from the production of the music to the songwriting to the video was done by a company that's of international class. I think we tried to maximize our budget and in trying to get something that I think South Africans would be proud of, and would love to say that this guy is from. I hope people are proud to say that Zaid Isa is from South Africa or from Durban.
I'm sure they will at some point. I think that sometimes we perhaps take long to come around, but we come around. But I have a feeling that I know that our South Africans are going to support you.
Inshallah.
Because, I mean, from our side, my show, Team Channel, we support what you're doing, and we want to call on our audience to follow suit and support what you're doing, because you've done most of it. It's just about us supporting what you're doing and making sure that we come out and do that.
I appreciate that.
Looking at the UK, what is the essence, what's the focus, what do you plan on achieving down there on this trip now?
So it's just published. It's a PR tour. So we're doing the television shows, the radio stations, the what else?
Newspapers.
blogs, anything in terms of media, and we.
And some collaborations with celebrities.
Yeah, so there's some of the people that I know there already. Saif Adam himself, who was the producer, he's quite famous, probably the most famous in terms of the UK and in terms of shows. And
The UK is also seen as a market leader with regards to
at the
machines.
moment, Nasheed industry is it's different. There is more activity, it's more concerts, it's more. Nasheeds fall into this influencer category, where there's Nasheed artists, comedians, bloggers, these hijabis, the whole influencer, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook space. So that's in the UK, or I would say Europe. It's really big at the moment, yeah.
Well, on that trip, when you come back, what do we look at? Because I know that you're coming back, and the plan is to have that South African concert, and I know that you're bringing some artists down that include comedians and all of that.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that, because I think perhaps we might be looking forward to seeing what you bring back.
So it's in keeping with what I'm trying to do. I want, if I have a concert, I want it to be at that standard, and I want to really please our community. So I do have a few friends who I'm sure pretty much everyone knows, at least some of them, but I don't want to mention their names.
The famous friends.
The famous friends. Well, colleagues and people you meet along the way. And we want to bring them down. We want to share their expertise, and we want to combine it. I don't want to keep it for myself and the partners that we're working with to try and help it grow. We've decided that we're going to take some of the proceeds, or whatever we make, or whatever contributions that come through. We're going to keep it aside so that we can develop some artists who are deserving in the local space, and the guys who are bring down from the UK who are already established, I'm going to have workshops. So if we do Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg, inshallah, then we'll have workshops either before or after the concert, and we'll focus on elements that are not really focused on. For example, how to brand yourself, how to if you're a poet, how to go about doing your business, social media, professionalism.
And this is obviously based on the youth development program.
Yeah.
Is obviously based on the fact that as you as an artist, and perhaps your friends that are coming down, as you traverse that journey, you pick up lots of things of do's and don'ts
Yes.
that people don't need to they don't need to repeat
Sure.
or reinvent that wheel. They can lean on the information that you've accumulated to move to the next base much more easier.
Yeah. Yes, I think everyone who's passed that phase had people or mentors who guided them and showed them the way. And yes, I made mistakes, and I'm sure the people who are going to come down have made mistakes. And because we made those mistakes and we know what it's about and how much of time you waste or money you waste, you don't want someone else to experience that. But at the same time, it's not a thing where we're just going to be giving away free money and stuff for people to produce songs. The people who we want to work with and we want to have at the workshop are people who need to have that drive and need to have that ability to say I'm going to do it, and there needs to be some sort of track record. And but that's part of the build up, and that's part of the ethos we're trying to create, because I see a lot of people who start and they sort of stop before they even reach any potential because of lack of resources or lack of information. And they say it's I've heard this before. It's not a lack of resources that stops people. It's a lack of resourcefulness.
Correct. Yes.
Because you don't always need money to get things that are expensive. You don't always need. There's always a different angle to.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Because some people have all of that, but then they don't have the drive, the motivation, and the know-how.
Well,
how to do that.
it's one of those ironic things that we notice sometimes, that the people who don't have the financial budgets, if you look at like a lot of the successful people, they all started off from maybe poverty or some backdrop where they were disadvantaged, and that drove them. And then you may see the flip side where someone has everything and they find it hard to achieve. But as you said in the previous discussions that we've had, that it's the challenges that create growth, and we all have different challenges, so we have to respect all different. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's path is not to become famous or to become successful at entertainment. Sometimes your purpose is just to be happy, or to be, well, whatever your purpose, whatever Allah has for you.
Correct, yes. And sometimes we don't understand the purposes of other people.
Yeah.
The fact that they're not operating in the same scope or the same mindset or the same worldview. Their purposes might not be understood. You remind me about something, and that is, when I grew up, I always thought that it was unfair that the people that collected the garbage needed to collect the garbage. I just thought, why do they need to do that job? It appeared demeaning to me, and I just couldn't come to terms with the fact that why couldn't everybody do what we might think is more successful. Later on in life, I defined that what we define as success might be different to different people. Because I would stand in the morning when they're collecting the dirt and be all stressed out and concerned about coming to the office and all the dramas that I need to face. But yet outside at the dirt truck, those people were standing laughing and joking, and they just did that every week. And I then thought to myself, but how do we define success and happiness? Because and who is more stressful, me or them? So what I'm trying to say is, I think that we have a disparity in terms of what we interpret success to be, and that might be different for different people. If we look at you today, on the verge of going to the UK, doing all that, how do you feel? Are you there yet? Mentally, like you're going to do it, or are you still coming to terms?
The thing is, there's so much of preparation. There's so much of juggling. Like, for example, I'm in Cape Town now. I go back, I've got stuff to do. I've had stuff to do last weekend. There's so much of things that I'm actually not getting a time to actually let it sink in. But I'm the type of person who doesn't really like to be in the future. So I like, it's there. It doesn't exist anymore. Well, it doesn't exist yet, sorry. So I need to try and enjoy what's in front of me. So as much as my mind gets bundled up and I have like 10 things to do,
you're allowed to take its course.
At some point I just say, well, I'm here with Faizal, so I must be here with Faizal.
Right, and you're living in the moment.
We enjoy these conversations that you call interviews, and Yeah, I think when I'm there, I'll be there, inshallah. And yeah, but right now I'm here.
So the notion of the unknown doesn't really concern you that
Well, there's lots of planning. There's a lot of planning. There's a whole team in the UK planning the press tour.
Yes.
So that's.
I suppose it's having also confidence in the right people to do the right thing.
I think you can't control it.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do, and then whatever.
And the rest needs to take.
Whatever. Allah, you leave it to Allah. And as I told you, like the most amazing things and the most successful parts of this journey has been when I've just said, all right, stop. Leave it in Allah's hands. And that's something I've been trying to it's human nature to want to worry, but I think it's easier to be successful if you just leave it in Allah's hands and you just do what you can do. Like, for example, I'm here, let's do this and enjoy this, and later we'll do whatever we need to do, and tomorrow I'll do the other interviews that I have, and so on. So,
as an artist, do you feel comfortable in your own skin? Have you found that space, or are you still feeling that it needs a bit of wiggling around to get into that skin properly?
I think as an artist, in terms of music, in terms of studio, I'm very comfortable. One of the things the producer said when wanting to work with me and Saif, he said, you are you, you know.
The persona that we see on the music video, which you guys will see soon, that persona and the persona on the CD,
yes.
Is that you at all?
I think different songs. I'm in different states for different songs.
Is that what you normally are, that we see? Or did it take some effort trying to get into that zone?
No, the way I see myself is that
Let me rewind the tape for you.
Okay, sure.
Back in the office in the day, during the day, I'm a shorts and t-shirts person.
Okay.
I need to come here putting on the suit.
Okay.
And looking like Michael Jackson at times. That's what TV requires. But there are times that I'm just a crazy guy, and people know that. Have you found that where you could just be yourself at times?
Yeah, so it's a hard question to ask because my personality type is the type of person who, if I'm with you, I'm a certain way, and if I'm with someone who's bubbly, I start to get a bit bubbly.
Okay, so now I found the reason for that jacket, why it's got this chameleon look on it,
yes,
because you need to change.
I'm a bit of a chameleon.
You need to move with it.
So
but that's good.
So when we're talking, for example, the first track is I'm Here. It's about a deep connection with Allah. So in studio, I'm focusing on that, and in that song, you'll get a totally different feeling from the fourth song, which is called "It's Sunnah to Smile." It's like it's Sunnah to smile. We're living in this moment, so just smile. It's like totally different, you know.
I love the fact that you touched on that, because I really think that today I just don't see people smiling that much, and I really believe that the focus on the Sunnah has really been like nobody really talks about it. We talk about everything else, but a smile is something that could break down many barriers.
Yes.
And increase.
I think that's also a Sunnah. Once you smile, you.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So I also think it talks about your internal spiritual status if you're able to smile all the time. And that's my opinion. I noticed the others. Oh my God! You called the wife song.
Yeah, you know it's a Nasheed album, and in a Nasheed album.
Wait, I think there's more to this. Tell me the truth about this one. Were you held at gunpoint for this one?
No, okay. I was actually my wife had no idea I was doing this song.
Okay.
So we just when I went to the UK, it was I went to work with new producers, and so I literally said, okay, let's discuss it from scratch. You conceived
the song when you were.
So on the day of writing it, we wrote the song and produced the song on the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely from scratch. I didn't tell my wife I was doing it. I only showed her when I got back.
When you came back, but at least she knows. I think you were thinking about her, and that counts.
No, of course, she was one of the really important people who made that trip happen as well. It takes a lot of sacrifice from a partner to actually, because I left for about 10 days. Also financially, remember all the money I'm putting in to this whole new venture is obviously money she can't spend. So
Zaid, you're a man that knows how to play his cards, and you're going to be going places. And I want to tell you that we support you in what you're doing, and we look forward to catching up with you when you come back. We're going to find out about the UK and how that all went.
Inshallah.
Because when you're in the UK, you're an international star now. So we want to catch up with you, and I hope that you're going to talk to us on the trip and keep us posted. When you come back, we can do some follow-ups, see how that's gone. I know that we want to have your social media details at the bottom of the screen for people to perhaps log in and see what you're up to on the trip. I think that it's important that South Africans follow you on the journey to find out what's happening and how it's proceeding, because effectively I feel that you're representing us in another country on an ambassador level, and that's important. So they need to follow all of that and make sure they support that. Thank you for coming to studio. We're going to play out with a particular track. You can tell us what that track is. Perhaps you can sing us the first line so we can run off into the track.
So it's called The Most Beloved. So it's about the Prophet ﷺ. So I wish I could walk in the path of the Prophet Sahabas. I wish I could see his smile and feel his holy presence. You will guide my way, and I'll always feel safe, and my heart and soul will resonate. Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beloved of Allah. He is the Prophet of Allah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beloved of Allah. He is the Prophet of Allah. My heart is beating for the love of the Prophet. I hope we can meet one day, and then I'll be alright. I will find my way, and you'll always will remain. Then my heart and soul will resonate. Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beloved of Allah. He is the Prophet of Allah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beloved of Allah. He is the Prophet of Allah. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Peace and blessings from above, will our love ever be enough, enough? Oh Muhammad. Peace and blessings from above, will our love ever be enough, enough? Oh Muhammad. He is the Prophet of Allah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam,